How hard you hit, whether you win or lose, what matters is that you have a common goal. And to reach that goal, it takes a band of brothers acting as one. Every week, we come together to witness these gladiators of the gridiron pour their heart and soul into the field. This is Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet.
It is Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet, in a backyard battle here in Berkeley County. The Berkeley Stags visiting the Cane Bay Cobras. Hi everybody, I'm ABC News 4's Dean Stevens along with Everett German. So far this year, we have seen games played in the 90s. We've seen games played in the 60s. Tonight, the first time on a Friday that we see a wet track.
Yeah, Dave Williams called this. He said it would rain. Definitely it's going to rain here tonight. If you're the Cane Bay Cobras, you probably want a little more rain. You want to kind of slop these conditions up to give yourself a better chance tonight.
Want to try to slow down this Berkeley team, maybe the best collection of skill talent in the entire state. 4 receivers averaging more than 14 yards per catch, but that's not the person we're keeping an eye on tonight.
Yeah, Keyshawn Wicks, a young man, has rushed for already 1,139 yards, 12 touchdowns. Now, he was overlooked, did not get picked by the Shrine Bowl team or the North-South team. He's got something to prove tonight, especially since last year he rushed for over 2,000 yards.
Cane Bay's Big Bopper, their middle linebacker, keep an eye on him tonight.
Yeah, he's going to have to chase Mr. Wicks tonight. Chase Smith, 79 tackles on the season. He's the leader of the Cane Bay defense. He has to have a big night tonight.
And a big night here, region consequences. Berkeley a win tonight, they clinch at least a title. For Cane Bay, if they win, they move into a first place tie. It all gets underway when toe meets leather. You're watching Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please stand for the presentation of the colors and the singing of our national anthem. The colors are being presented by the Cane Bay Air Force JROTC under the command of Lieutenant Colonel Clint Swilling and Master Sergeant Paul Brown. On the field tonight, the colors are presented by Cadets Andrew Hafner, Christian Roberts, Paulina O'Brien. They're commanded by Cadet Technical Sergeant Kayla Lass. During the presentation of the colors and the singing of our national anthem, it is customary to stand, remove your hats, face.
Right on cue. Welcome back to Cane Bay High School. Tonight, the Cobras 4-4 on the year, taking on the Berkeley Stags 7-1 on the year, 3-0 in region play. Cane Bay coming in 2-1 on the year. That's why tonight, another reason, but such a big game tonight. Berkeley can lock up at least a tie for region championship. A loss by Berkeley tonight. Cane Bay moves into a tie for first place with just a week to go. It is a senior season. There is a senior night here at Cane Bay High School. Special night. Happy you're along with us on this cool and dreary night. Our game time temperature brought to you by Roper St. Francis, where experience mattered. That game time temperature right now, 69 degrees. Throughout the day, intermittent rain showers, a lot of drizzle. Field a little slick, but as Russell Zier said, he tried to get the grass to grow a little bit faster this week, but it didn't happen. Going to see some really fast players over the Berkeley sideline. Our Cruise Chevy keys to the game tonight, Everett.
Yeah, as you know, for Berkeley, Cane Bay, they want to run the football. So Berkeley's going to have to do a good job of stopping that ground game, making them put the ball in the air. If you're Cane Bay, pick your poison. Are you going to stop DJ Chisholm, the Shrine Bowl selection, Eric Tuttle, or, of course, Keyshawn Wicks, who we highlighted in the beginning? So a tough task coming up tonight for this Cane Bay defense.
Cruise Chevrolet on Rivers, you've got a friend in the car business. Appreciate them being part of our Friday Night Rivals team tonight. Berkeley won the toss. 99% of the time when you see a team win a toss, they defer. They want to get the ball to start the third quarter. Not Berkeley.
Yeah.
They want the ball now.
They want to put the pressure on Cane Bay. You also have to think, with the type of offense that we're going to see tonight from Cane Bay, they want to shorten the game, take the air out of the football, go on long drives. So maybe Berkeley's thinking, hey, let's go ahead and jump on them early and force them to play catch-up.
As you take a look at the Berkeley Stags offensive lineup, it's our WOW starting lineup. It's the whole home Wi-Fi starting lineup. No slow zones, no dead zones, just WOW zones. As we take a look at the starters for Cane Bay, and I'm telling you, this middle linebacker, Chase Smith, we talked about him in the open, 5'7", 228 pounds. He is the big bopper. They've got him listed as #1 in tackles and #1 in big hits with 14. Cane Bay is going to scoot that ball forward. It's going to be picked up by #5, Desmond Navarre. He's going to take it out to about the 32-yard line. Damon Navarre, should I say, and that's where they're going to set up shop.
So again, you have to think this Berkeley offense, Dean, is so high-powered. They can run the football. They have one of the better quarterbacks in terms of Eric Tuttle as well. As we take a look at the starting defense for Cane Bay, as you mentioned, the man Chase Smith, the linebacker. What he lacks in height, he definitely makes up for it in terms of effort and toughness.
#6, Eric Tuttle, the senior quarterback, 6'2", 192, has thrown for 1,400 yards, 19 touchdowns. You see the 4 receiver set. He's going to go to the air right away. He's got a man down the field. Will they call him in? That was Dervon Pesnell. Looked like they called him out of bounds.
Caleb Stewart, the senior defensive back, with tight coverage there, trying to make the quarterback Eric Tuttle put it in a tight spot, and he couldn't come down with it, obviously, in play, so it'll be second down for the Stags.
Nice touch inside. That's number 22, Keyshawn Wicks. Boy, you see the speed and the power right through the hole. Going to pick up about 18 yards. 15 of that was somebody hanging onto that jersey.
Yeah, it looked like Superman had people tugging on his cape as Wicks with the opening run of the game for Berkeley, just right up and talk about yards after contact. I mean, he drug a couple of Cobras at least 10 to 15 yards down the field. A tough run for Wicks.
1st and 10 from the 48. Wicks on the backfield, going to take it again, go right back up the middle, going to hold him now to about 4 yards under a pile of blue jerseys. Smith on the bottom of that pile.
Also Sheldon Dees, the senior defensive lineman, only 5'8", 188 pounds. Don't normally see those types of guys on the defensive line, but obviously Mr. Dees mixing it up early on here tonight.
So second and about 7 now from the 45-yard line, looking over to the offensive coordinator, getting their plays. 4 receivers. Tuttle not ready for that snap. Going to pick it up, going to lose about 4 yards. So miscommunication between the center and Tuttle.
And Dean, on paper, as we take a look here again, kind of caught him off guard. But obviously when you're Randy Robinson, the head coach of Berkeley, on paper, Berkeley is the better football team, but you still have to come out and execute. You can't just come in here overconfident and think you can simply walk on the field and defeat Cane Bay.
DJ Chisholm, number 3. This one's going to go out to the left side. Some nice moves by Pesnell. Going to be short of that first down by about 5 yards.
6'5", 179 pounds. That's what you're starting to see now from these wide receivers at the next level in terms of just a ton of height where you can throw jump balls. So, yeah, a nice catch there by Pesnell, a young up man that's going to definitely be playing on Saturdays.
We got 4th and 5. Randy Robinson's going to go for it. Chisholm at the bottom of your screen. Pesnell at the top. That's Solomon Butler in the bottom of the screen next to Chisholm. See if they go for a hard count to try to draw Kane Bay off sides. I think now they're just going to call a timeout by the Berkeley Stags. You know, we talked about Pesnell. He had just recently returned from a recruiting trip to the Navy where he made a commitment, called it a life-changing trip.
You know, obviously academics very important to him as we take a look at crunching the numbers here, Dean.
Brought to you by Anderson Brothers Bank. We'll go through the polls throughout the evening, but Class 5A, there you see them. Fort Dorchester, number 2, Berkeley, number 7, Somerville, number 9. Fort Dorchester and Somerville decided not to play tonight. They pushed that game to Monday night. And Berkeley's lone loss to Fort Dorchester, a heartbreaker, a close one, 21-20. I know they are looking forward to getting back at the Patriots, hopefully down the road in the playoffs. Those 3 teams that we just saw on the screen, probably only 3 teams that can somewhat compete with Dutch Fork. Dutch Fork, the Class of 5A. If they were to lose, it'll be from one of those 3 teams here in the Low Country. Berkeley lining up to punt it, and it's going to be blocked. It's going to be blocked on the inside by number 46, Dave Francis. Dave Francis is going to help his buddy out. That's going to be a Kane Bay special team touchdown. That is number 39.
Danny Davis.
Screen. How about that, Danny Davis?
The 5'9", 189-pound senior making a big play on senior night. Kind of fumbled the snap, and give credit to Kane Bay. The block's going to go to D. Francis and his teammate Danny Davis there to scoop and score. So these are types of plays when you're the underdog, Dean, that you have to make. And the first big play of the game goes to the Kane Bay special teams.
Like you said, it was a, again, miscommunication, bad snap. And that allowed D to come in with the block. And then you got the perfect bounce up into the arms of Danny Davis. So Francis and Davis combined for the first touchdown of the game. And Kane Bay jumps on board first. 7-0 game with 9:29. You're watching Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. All right, a quick score by the Kane Bay special teams. Danny Davis with the first touchdown of the night comes to the 9:29 mark. It is Aim High Kickoff brought to you by the United States Air Force. And again, another squiver right up the middle. It's going to be brought down Damon Navari at about the 38-yard line. So Kane Bay has decided to kick it away from the speed of DJ Chisholm in the backfield along with Cam Myers, another speedster for Randy Robbins.
Yeah, talking about special teams, you definitely want to keep it out of the hands of DJ Chisholm. Those are one of those types of guys, Dean, it's better off just kicking the ball out of bounds and not allowing the speedster an opportunity to come up with a big play.
You know, you wonder at some point in time, and I'm sure they've seen this all year long, but, you know, do you bring DJ Chisholm up closer in that formation to get his hands on the ball? We'll see. Chisholm at the bottom of your screen now. Did not touch the ball that very first series. He threw the ball twice. Ran it 3 times. Wicks had a nice 18-yard run as there was a whistle before the snap of the ball and some conversation about the 37-yard line.
You saw right there the defensive line of Cane Bay, very small in terms of physical size. But when you have that type of size issues, you just have to use your speed and obviously be able to get into the gaps and disrupt what goes on in the backfield. First possession, force the punt from Berkeley. Let's see if the Stags can adjust.
Tuttle inside to Wicks. Wicks cutting it back, boy, with great moves just to the left and the right. A lot of wiggle room in the middle there. Picks up at 11.
Nice stop by Chase Smith. The first time we've called his name tonight. Again, came in with 79 tackles, the leading tackler for Cane Bay. But you're right, Dean, just the patience shown by Keyshawn Wicks, the 6'1 senior, an outstanding looking athlete.
Pick it up 1st and 10 from the 50-yard line. Tuttle in the backfield, going to hand it off to Wicks again. Makes 1 man miss, makes 2. Going to be brought down by 3, 4, and 5 after 15 yards.
Just the body control and the shiftness of Keyshawn Wicks. You saw there, it kind of gave him the impression that he was going to go inside and quickly busted it outside. You have to definitely keep an eye on Mr. Wicks, because he's looking like he's going to be set up for a big night tonight on the ground.
We talked about it. This is a guy running hard this week. Feels like he was overlooked for the 2 All-Star games as he picks up another 5. All right. Again, senior night. No better snack on senior night. A little bit of Zaxby's as we take a look at the fans cam in the student section here at Cane Bay.
I'd be excited, obviously, probably after this game, I can imagine, Dean, people possibly going to the fair.
Possibly. Tuttle looking left, going to throw left to Pesnell. Pesnell's going to get it 2 yards short, fight forward for a first down to the 25-yard line.
Caleb Stewart, got his work cut out for him tonight. Stewart, they have him listed at 6'1". We talked about Pesnell being 6'5", so I totally expect to see throughout the night some one-on-one situations where they throw the ball up and allow Mr. Pesnell an opportunity to go up and get it.
Wicks back inside, going to be chased down from the backside. That's by number 40, was that 46, D. Francis.
Yeah, D. Francis, of course, the guy that blocked the punt on the last possession for the Cobras. And right now, if you're Randy Robinson, if they can't stop Mr. Wicks, you continue to feed him until they come up with a plan to stop him.
2nd and 5 now from about the 20-yard line. Wicks getting fed early. Give it to him one more time. And there on the backside once again is D. Francis. So a lot of the backside pursuit paying off here, making it 3rd and short.
And they're doing a nice job of just using their speed. Like I said, they lack physical size, but they're very quick to the ball, Dean. They don't give up on plays. This defense of Cane Bay, they're going to make it tough for Berkeley tonight.
The signal's given over on the sidelines. Tuttle checks his wristband. Wicks moves up along to his left side. Going to give it back to Wicks again. Looks like he may be stopped a little bit short, but then he reaches over. Looked like he was already down, but then reached over about the 15-yard line. They're going to give him a first down on that +3 on the carry.
Very heady play that time by Mr. Wicks, making that second push. You said, Dean, you're right. I think the initial hit he was short, but that last lunge allowed him to pick up the first down.
1st and 10 on the 15. Where are you going to go? Go right back to him this time. 3 or 4 Cobras inside, led by Cedric Nettles.
Also Mr. Sharp in there to make a stop. Lateef Sharp, junior defensive lineman for the Cobras. But you have to think now they're starting to key on Wicks. That probably is going to open up the bootleg or the passing game for Berkeley because so much attention being paid to Wicks.
You got Pesnell, the very top, tall receiver, quick receivers down low. Wicks back on the inside. Boy, there you see the lower body strength. Wicks as he picks up 4.
Yeah, Cedric Nettles kind of hopped on for a ride that time. Again, Wicks, you talk about just keeping those legs churning. Those are the days we talked about it, Dean, in the summer, just running on the beach, putting those ankle weights on.
Right.
That's what's allowing him to run through the tackles and take guys for.
So those tight. Dudley. So take a look at the Cane Bay offense. Alex wild start zone play.
Both of these teams looking for a die zone right now with the rain coming.
Got a man in motion. Going to go straight up the gut again. Maybe get back to the original line of scrimmage. That is Mac Dudley. To the defense, Trey Morrison. He is going to the north-south game. Player from this, 2 players from the area, one from Hanahan, and then of course Chisholm selected to the Shrine Bowl earlier this week. Trey Morrison playing in the north-south game, which I think is now the Touchstone Energy All-Star game. All right, 12 of 3rd and 13 now. Going to have a pitch, going to go to the wide side. Berkeley speed right there to welcome Wendell Goodwin, a senior running back. Going to lose about a yard.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to outrun this Berkeley defense. Those guys run sideline to sideline.
So Cane Bay punting from the middle of their end zone, drops the snap. That thing is going to be tipped at the line of scrimmage and down at the 14-yard line by Berkeley. So a couple of mistakes in the game so far from special teams on both sides.
Yeah, this was just doomed from the beginning as he gets the snap here, drops the ball, and I don't know if it was tipped over. He just kind of missed the ball. But that was probably, what, a 2-yard punt from the initial line of scrimmage. And so Berkeley will get outstanding field position, and let's see if they can capitalize on the special teams gap by Cane Bay.
The 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. So we have seen some struggles by both sides. Sets up Berkeley in prime real estate. Here comes Wick to the left, to the right, finish it up the middle, and it's a 14-yard run. One play off of a bad snap and a bad punt by the Cobra special team.
That's the 13th touchdown of the season for Mr. Keyshawn Wicks. I don't think he was touched, straight up the middle. Burst of speed into the end zone. The Berkeley Stags get on the scoreboard for the first time tonight. And it literally, Dean, could come down to special teams, whether it be we've seen a couple of block punts or a block punt. Could be field goals, anything. Special teams could be the differentiator tonight.
And that's going to sneak inside and just over for a 7-7 game. All right, we've got a third member of our team standing by down on the sidelines. That's our main man, Brody Hart. Good to have you tonight, Brody.
Oh, it's great to be here, guys. Good to talk to you. So I'm here with Denise Kitchen with Synovus. So tell me about your role with Synovus.
Okay, I'm the retail market manager in Somerville. So I've taken over a new branch, or I am taking over a new branch. I've been with Synovus for about 3 months now. Love it, love it, love it. And
Brand new.
Brand new, brand new. But I love what Synovus stands for, which is the Bank of Here, and Here Matters, and as in that we love to help the community, do a lot of community development, etc., which is why we love to partner with the food bank and did this PB&J challenge.
The PB&J challenge. What is this?
We basically partner with the schools, so we collect PB&J at the branches, and the schools also collect PB&J on the school level. Everybody brings in their little wares, and then it gets weighed, and then at the end of the challenge, the school that wins gets a $2,500 check, and so does the food bank.
Very good. So Alexis, you're with the food bank. So what is it with this partnership and PB&J challenge? How does that kind of work together with you all?
Sure, it's been a great partnership. We've collected almost 32,000 pounds so far, and peanut butter is a favorite of everyone in the Low Country, whether it's children's family or seniors that we're serving. It's high in protein, which is always something we're looking for. So we're really grateful that the Kids Initiative was going strong.
There we go, PB&J challenge. All right, that's good. All right, let's go ahead and of peanut butter and jelly. That's how many do you think that is?
A lot.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you, we collected probably about 10 jars of each at the branch, and it is heavy, so I can't even imagine.
Almost 2,000 pounds. Well, thank you to both schools for participating. Guys, I'll get it back to you.
All right, Brody, thanks so much. So I think we're also going to need to keep a tally. How many times we see the football on the turf tonight?
Exactly.
So mishandled on the kickoff. They do pick up a 4-yard gain on that run by Wendell Goodwin to set up 2nd and 6. Seemed like everybody moved but Alex Mart.
It's like a trick play there.
Picked up 3 on the play. Take a look at it again. Everybody's just going to stay still.
The old freeze play.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, just let the center and the quarterback. Everyone else just hold their ground. So it takes great discipline, and they executed that perfectly.
Jacques Canster coming up with a big stop on Alex Mart. Make it 3rd and 4 now. You're going to go straight up the middle. Mark's going to keep it and pick up a first down all the way out to the 38-yard line.
Tackle made by Trey Morrison. And looking at this offense of Cane Bay, as we see their quarterback Alex Mart, he comes up limping. That's not good. Obviously, if you're Russell's there. So I believe the starting quarterback, Elijah Bay,
Elijah Bay, he dislocated his hip again the Somerville game. And now Mart comes out. Filling in for him be Xavier Mitchell-Brown, just a freshman, 5'10", 183, running this veer option offense. Going to hand it right up the middle. Going to pick it up to Mac Dudley for about 5 yards.
You know, and watching this Cane Bay offense, Dean, I don't know if you got a chance last night, but Georgia Tech played Virginia Tech.
Yep.
Did not attempt a pass and rush for over, I think it was over 400 yards and won big at Virginia Tech. It's all about that disciplined football. You have to stay in your lanes, know your gaps. And if you don't, a big play is going to occur. And that's exactly what Cane Bay is trying to do, take advantage of the athleticism of Berkeley, kind of catch them sleeping.
2nd and 10, they're going to go ahead and hand it off. You know, and that's where you're going to see a little bit of struggle with the freshman, Mitchell-Brown. Looked like he was delayed in whether he was going to give the ball and give it to Dudley or he's going to keep it himself.
And you have to figure him being a freshman, I don't know if they still have that 8-quarter rule, but if he played JV last night, may not have gotten an opportunity to obviously take some snaps with the varsity, this first squad. So probably going to take a little bit of time to kind of feel the process out and get on the same page with his teammates.
All right, 54 seconds left, 3rd and 2. Mitchell-Brown going to hand it off in the middle. Looks like there will be enough for the first down, and right now that is all Cane Bay would like to do, is to run this clock, move the chains.
And you know, Dean, if I'm Berkeley, and we'll talk about the $500 check really fast before we talk about the Berkeley defense.
Yeah, each week, David Ayler-Loff is proud to highlight a scholar athlete from each participating school. The students selected will have an opportunity to win a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. There's our $500 school grant right there. All right, 1st and 10 from the 49. Mitchell Brown going to keep it inside for 1.
Tackle made by Will Shannon. And what I was going to say, Dean, is if I'm Berkeley on defense, I want to make the freshman pitch the football. I want to take away the fullback dive, take away the tailback, or take away the quarterback running and make him try to pitch a wet ball in these conditions. You don't want to just give up the easy run.
My TV Charleston, ABC News 4 proud to present that $500 check. The grant provides each school with an extra funding to help make the school great. Over the past 8 seasons, Friday Night Rivals and our sponsors have donated $85,000 to low-country students and schools. Congratulations, My TV Charleston, ABC News 4, and Friday Night Rivals. Good game here as we're dancing around the raindrops. 7-7 Berkeley and Cane Bay. Welcome back, everybody. An entertaining first quarter of football, highlighted by some miscues, some strong running by Wicks, and now Cane Bay's on the move, working on a 7-play drive right here as Wendell Goodwin takes the handoff from backup quarterback Xavier Mitchell Brown. He came in about 3 plays ago for an injured Alex Smart.
At the bottom of that pile, Timmy Cooper, the 6'1 junior defensive lineman, had some assistance. You always want to have a lot of hats around the football of your defense. As we said last week, Dean, roll call at the ball. I'll see you at the football. No solo tackles, all gang tackling by Berkeley.
Freshman quarterback now facing the number 7 team in the state. Going to give it off the middle to Mac Dudley. Dudley's going to fall well short of the first down. Russell Zaire is going to go ahead and send his special teams in. But that's exactly what Cane Bay wants to do. An 8-play, 9-play drive. They'd like to have some points, but what they did is took a lot of time off that clock. Exactly. Just shorten the game, limit the possessions for Berkeley. Ideally, you would love to be able to put points on the board, but if you can keep it away from Berkeley, it enhances your opportunities for the win. Short punt, couple yards. But I tell you what, Trey Morrison almost blocked that punt, came flying in. And you have to think, Dean, it's just tough for the snappers, a wet ball, you're trying to get it back to the punter, and once he catches it, the ball's got water.
Cane Bay can walk the safety and get 8 or 9 guys in the box. I expect Berkeley to continue to pound the football.
Keep an eye on Cameron McCray, the left tackle, 6'5", 362. As Wicks is going to go right behind them again. He's going to slip, put on the brakes to maybe try to make a man miss, and really brought himself down slipping on that wet turf.
And surprisingly, Dean, that's the first time we've seen tonight. Actually, one of the guys have some issues with the footing. Again, as you can see, it rained earlier today. You would think the playing conditions would be kind of soft and just unsettled, but so far so good for both teams in terms of not having a problem with their cleats and their footing.
Randy Robinson loves number 50 as left guard, David Martin. Calls him the king of pancake blocks. He said every game, man, that's what he prides himself on. All right, we got a pass play. Tuttle fakes it inside, going to roll right. He's got all the time to throw it in the world. It's going to be incomplete, and then all of a sudden 2 flags come down on the other side of the field, away from the play. And yeah, it looks like an ineligible entire left side of the line.
Was that our first flag of the night? I think it is. Pretty clean game up to this point. But yet, clearly some signals. Maybe the left side heard one play and the right side heard a different play. But needless to say, the penalty will go against Berkeley.
I think this game is playing very much in favor of Cane Bay right now. I mean, you take a look at the entire season for Berkeley. They have scored 336 points, given up 134, a 202-point differential. Wow. Cane Bay playing them even right now, 7-7 with 8:45 left here in the third quarter. High punt there by the Cane Bay punter. That is Josh Simmons. It's going to roll dead right at the 20-yard line. So when we come back, we'll see if Alex Smart is able to come back into the game or if the true freshman, Xavier Mitchell-Brown, will take over this Cane Bay offense. It's 7-7 here in Berkeley County. Welcome back to Cane Bay High School. Xavier Mitchell-Brown coming into the game. I had talked to Russell Zaire earlier about, filling in for Elijah Bay. Dislocated his hip against Somerville, and he said, listen, high school football is a lot different Monday through Thursday during practice, and then when you lace him up on Friday. He was really happy with the progress of Alex Smart. And now you've turned your attention to the true freshman as that offensive line really given a great push to set up 2nd and 5.
I got to tell you, for a young man that was in just the 8th grade last year, playing against not just any high school game, against the 7th-ranked team in the state, I think he's done a great job thus far kind of managing this football team, not having to make plays, just execute the game plan at hand.
All right, let's take a look at this play, and then as we cut away here, as they look at 2nd and 4 right now, man in motion, he's going to pick it up and run into about 4 or 5 Stags. At the bottom of that pile is number 25, Jacob Dunn. Let's go downstairs and Brody Hart.
Hey guys, so I'm here with David Johannes Meyer of Low Country Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. All right, so question for you right here. What is the most common reason that children have to come and see you all? What kind of injuries are we seeing a lot of?
So we see a lot of broken bones. We see a lot of sports injuries for those kids that come to see us at Low Country Orthopedics. In regards to the broken bones, you know, it's pretty common. We all know somebody that's had a cast or a broken bone at some point in their life. So we see it a lot, especially in the kids population. The great thing about kids is they oftentimes don't even need surgery to fix it. They have unique anatomy that allows their body to reliably heal in a lot better way than us adults do. So, you know, we offer fast access at Low Country Orthopedics. So if you or your child do have a broken bone, we can get you in to see one of our surgeons pretty quickly.
So I feel like you touched on it a little bit, but what's one of the real big differences when children have injuries versus like sports injuries versus when, you know, I go out there and I hurt myself, or even, you know, real adults that are even older than me?
Right, exactly. You know, so I'm a sports surgeon. I treat kids, I treat adolescents, I treat adults, but I do have a particular interest in pediatric and adolescent sports medicine. With the increase in the number of kids participating in sports as well as the competitiveness of those sports, we've seen an uptick in the number of pediatric injuries. A lot of people think kids are essentially small adults, but that's really not the case. Their unique anatomy lends them to having injury patterns and types that are a little bit different than adults. And for that reason, their treatment protocols can oftentimes be very different. So I think that's really important to keep in mind.
And when you've got a wet playing surface like tonight, are there any specific injuries that you're kind of afraid might happen more easily?
Knee injuries, absolutely, yeah.
ACLs, MCLs?
ACLs, MCLs, meniscus, all that kind of stuff.
David Johannesburg, Low Country Orthopedics. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Gentlemen?
All right, Brody Hart, no quick stops down there for you. Keep those knees intact. And I knew where Brody was going with that question about the older adults, right?
Yeah.
He might as well just looked up here at us.
Not us, you. I feel like I'm a spring chicken here.
3rd and 5 for Cane Bay. This drive exclusively Micah Staggers, number 28, about 450 yards rushing on the year, 5 touchdowns. He's been the man on this drive as Russell Zier wants to call a timeout here with about 5:44 left. The other thing that the young quarterback Mitchell Brown is doing, he's letting that play clock work down close to 0 before he snaps it, trying to work off as much time as he can.
I mean, he's really done a great job of just executing the game plan. You don't want to get any scoring affair, a shootout with this Berkeley team, a team averaging well over 30 points a game. So you're right, if you can use as much of that play clock as you possibly can, pick up positive yards every time, and even if it doesn't result in points, at least you keep that high-powered offense of Berkeley off the field.
Coach Zare was hired back in May of 2011. He was the Cobra's defensive coordinator for a while, but he had a great 10-2 record back in 2016. This was coming off a 0-11 campaign in 2013. Really brought a lot of respectability and pride back to this Cane Bay program, and just outstanding facilities here in Berkeley County. As they look at 3rd and 5 right now. Single back set, run a veer offense, much like Georgia Tech's. You're going to give it to the left side to Micah Brown. He's going to be brought down. I believe that's by number 59 inside, Jaquez Cancer.
5'9", a junior, a good-looking junior, 241 pounds. Did a nice job of shooting the gaps and bringing the Cobra runner down before he could really get off and get into that secondary.
Take a look at this punt. We'll check back in with Brody right now. The punt's going to go to the right side away from Chisholm. It's going to land at about the 32-yard line and get a favorable bounce down to about the 25, and that's where Berkeley will take over. All right, let's go down to the sidelines. We have our David Ayler Law Office Educator Spotlight.
Hey guys, yeah, it seems like we just talked only minutes ago, so I'm here with Tim McDowell, principal of Cane Bay High School. So tell me, it's senior night. What are we looking forward to right now?
Hey, it is senior night, but it's a great night for Berkeley County School District. The Stags, Cobras going at it. But I got so much pride in this campus, this building. Last week, our chorus traveled to Georgia, took grand champion. Our girls cross country qualified for state this past week. And then last weekend, our student council hosted the Southerns, which was 15 states, over 800 students. So really proud of Cane Bay High School.
All right, so what else is going on at the school right now? I know it's a big school. You got to be a lot going on.
Well, big school. We just took over as the largest school in the district. Growth unbelievable, but I tell you what, our teachers, our students, they handle it, and we just love it here.
Okay, all right. So I was asking you about senior night. Do you know how many seniors are going to be honored tonight?
So we honored, before the start of the game, we honored 47 senior athletes, football players, swim, cross country, and varsity competition cheer tonight.
Well, that is awesome. Mr. Riddell, we appreciate you talking to us.
No problem. Thank you, sir.
All right. I don't know if you guys saw, by the way, his you get a shot of his jacket here.
You like that?
Hey, Dean, let's put a word in for the
Storm Tech 2.
Yeah, he says Storm Tech 2. It's a Nike product. Really nice. It's very water resistant. I love what we have though too.
Brody,
nice.
while you have him there, I mean, do you know who his daughter is?
His daughter is Abigail. She's our 11 p.m. Producer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's a proud papa, man. Daughter's one of the best.
Abby's holding the fort down.
Abby's holding the fort down tonight?
Abby's holding the fort down tonight back at the station. So.
That's right. Yeah. We'll have to give her our best, Dean. You're usually working with her at 11 p.m.
I do. I'm extremely kind and courteous to Abby because I didn't want to run into the principal like in an alleyway late one night. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. It's probably a good idea.
All right. Thanks, Brody.
Yep.
All right. So what do? They just keep on feeding. Keyshawn Wicks going to pick up another 4 yards on that play. Give it back to Wicks on the inside. Cane Bay stacking their defense. Going to pick up maybe a yard or two on the play.
It looked like at the very end, Chase Smith able to get on there at the end with the tackle, but obviously had a lot of assistance from his teammates and forcing another third down coming up for Berkeley. And this front four of Cane Bay, when they've been able to kind of get a little penetration. Once Mr. Wicks gets into that secondary, it's kind of been slim pickings there for the Cobras, but if they can get in the backfield, they're definitely going to have a better chance of stopping Mr. Wicks.
3rd and 7, they're going to throw it out to Chisholm. Chisholm wide open. There you see the speed down the near sidelines out of the 43-yard line. The first time we've seen DJ Chisholm with the ball in his hand.
Shrine Bowl selection, a young man that can flat out fly. They said, Dean, he can run almost a 4.2 40. So, yeah, get this guy in space and just kind of watch him take off and run.
Oh, yeah, senior night. I'm not quite sure it's construction night for the kids or what, but we know they love the fans. Cam. Yes, they do. Appreciate Zaxby being a part of our team as Keyshawn Wicks picks up another 5 yards on the play. Just keeps racking up numbers past 100 yards now.
Getting back to DJ Chisholm on the season, Dean. He leads the wide receivers with 32 catches, 500 yards, and 7 touchdowns.
We're going to keep going back inside, chasing down on the backside. And stopped up front by Jackson Zaire. He's got 38 tackles on the year, coming up from his cornerback spot. Make a tackle at the line of scrimmage. All of their defensive backs, all 4 of them, they usually play 4 across. Very, very active at the point of the ball. And this is a defense as well. A lot of pride. They've got 8 senior starters, 3 juniors. And they have really have come a long way this year. They lost their opening 2 games to West Ashley and Fort Dorchester, and then went on a little bit of a run. Slipped up a bit against Wando last week, losing 24-14. So 3rd and short, handed off Tuttle inside. Keyshawn Wicks going to be met right there at the line of scrimmage by Xavier Robinson, short of the first down. In fact, loses 2 yards.
What a job by the front 4 of Cane Bay. We were just talking about them, Dean. They had to get penetration, knock that offensive line backwards. That's exactly what they did as they come up with a big stop on 3rd down.
Yeah, actually, that's Chase Smith that gashed the hole there. Found a seam and really tripped up Wicks at the line of scrimmage. Love the way that guy plays. You know, something I saw on their stat sheet, which I've not seen in doing these games for the last couple of years, they've got a column called Big Hits. Right? They got big hits. Chase Smith leads the team in big hits.
I can see why.
Got 1 man back deep. Ball's going to bounce at the 18-yard line. It's come to stop at the 15. It's Caleb Stewart steers clear, and that's where Cane Bay will start now with $1:58 left.
Now, if you're Russell Zaire here, you want to be careful. You got 2 timeouts. Berkeley only has 1. It's 7-7. You played a great first half. Your plan is working to perfection. You've not attempted a pass tonight. You want to use all of this clock and then punt it away, or preferably pick up the first down or 2 so you can run out the clock here in the first half.
Well, you talk about not putting up a pass. I mean, they didn't put up passes much with Elijah Bay. They didn't put up many passes with Alex Smart. I can't imagine they're going to put the ball in the air with a true freshman now who's done a nice job handling this offense. as he's going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage. That's Mitchell Brown, decides to keep it himself and lose about 3 yards. Let's see if Berkeley does anything with their timeouts. They've got 1 left. $1:44 left and the clock ticking right now.
Will Shannon right there, Berkeley, with the initial stop. Yeah, you probably have to think, if you're Randy Robinson, maybe you use that timeout on after the 3rd down play, so we can possibly set up a punt block. We've seen both teams have some issues with the punt team.
Clock ticking at 1:25. Going to go back up the middle now. And that looks like Micah Stagers again. He's been picking up the majority of the runs. Now he's going to come limping off with a bad right ankle. Alex Mart on the sideline, his ankle exposed, looks awfully swollen. Propped up by his helmet. The Staggers comes off. Mac Dudley's going to come in. Going to be about 2nd and 6, so pick up a 4 yards there, but I think you're right. 47 seconds left on the clock here.
I was about to say the play clock was running down, but I don't think they got it off.
No, they did call a timeout in time. So 43 seconds left. It's going to give Berkeley a chance to get the ball back, maybe with 15 seconds left or so, if they choose to use that last timeout.
So pretty clean first half, Dean. I think we've only had one
or two penalties.
Yeah, but otherwise, you know, obviously you had the mishaps on special teams, but both teams taking advantage of those special teams mishaps, or this game could be scoreless going into the half.
And I think it's exactly plays right in to Cane Bay's playbook. Been able to keep Berkeley off the scoreboard. It was a 1-play, 13-yard run by Keyshawn Wicks after a bad snap and a bad punt. And that's really all. That's all they've given up tonight. Man in motion. Mitchell's going to keep the ball, stay in bounds, and he will stay in bounds. He's taken out at the 11-yard line. So again, looked like a little bit of confusion trying to hand the ball off there to Dudley. He decides to keep it himself, and now Berkeley's going to use that timeout.
Yeah, Berkeley, it appears, Dean, they're an all-out run blitz. It's like they're not even worried about them potentially throwing the football. So in that case, you can put all 11 guys, as we take a look at Randy Robinson, the head coach of the Berkeley Stags. What a job he's done up there in Moncks Corner, Dean.
Well, he turned it around and turned it around really fairly quickly. I mean, he's 22-5 in his first 2 years, and that's pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say.
But he had, and I talked to him before the game started. He was an assistant coach here at Berkeley in 1990, from 1990 to 1993 under Dennis Swiger. And I told him, I said, that's about the time I rolled into town. I was just like some punk kid. Drove my old Honda from Texas to Charleston, never been here. But man, they had some great teams back then. And then he went back up into the upstate at Daniel and coached there for a number of years. And that's when he was talking about Chisholm. He's like, I've got 4 guys in the NFL right now I coached up at Daniel. And he goes, this guy's got a chance. He's got speed that you just don't see very often. Called him once in a lifetime, and he's going to get a chance to return a kick right here. Nope, the ball's going to take a left turn, which is probably the best thing that's happened to Cane Bay all night long, as number 43, that's Amir Bonaparte, had a chance to stop the ball before Chisholm got his hands on it.
Yeah, you talk about 2 small guys, much like Chisholm in the NFL right now, that being the Ellingtons, Bruce and Andre, and of course, one of the guys that Coach Robinson coached. I think a lot of people think he's the best wide receiver in the NFL right now. Made a very spectacular catch last night. Yep. Played his college football at Clemson. One Mr. DeAndre Hopkins, also known as Nuke.
You call him Mr.?
Yeah. Well, he's a Clemson Texan.
You know better than that. Total 24 seconds left. Let's see what they've got. He's going to roll out to his left. He's going to throw it. He's got Persnell, who just a little bit overthrown to the 40-yard line. Incomplete pass. They'll set up shop again with 19 seconds left.
I'm surprised that obviously they're putting it up. Now, obviously they have decent field position right there at the 50-yard line, but we talked earlier about the playing condition. It just takes a slip, overthrow, an interception. This whole thing could change. We've seen a lot happen in the last 30 seconds of football games here over the course of our Friday Night Rivals schedule.
Great job by Caleb Stewart. Good coverage there on the outside on Pesnell. This time he's going to look right, going to throw right, and it's in and out of the hands and off the chest of number 2, Solomon Butler. Butler's got 3 touchdowns. That's the thing when I was looking at these wide receivers, 4 of them. You think about that, 4 receivers averaging more than 14 yards a catch. You don't see that very often.
Yeah.
If ever.
Especially at the high school level. And you take a look at the stats. Pesnell has 9 touchdowns. Chisholm has 7. They definitely spread the ball around here at Berkeley.
They're going to fake it inside. They're going to give it to Wicks inside. He's going to pick up 10 yards, down about 15 to the 35-yard line with about 5 seconds left. They may be able to spike the ball here if they get everybody lined up quick enough before the official winds the clock.
And actually, they're going to get a break because the defender of Cane Bay thought he had a fumble recovery, so that's going to allow Berkeley to get set up. And you're right, Dean, just spike the football.
Down to 4-3, and so they'll have one shot at the end zone from about 37 yards out. Yeah, I didn't even see. I didn't see the look like a fumble.
Yeah, he had already blown the whistle dead, and I think the ball came out afterwards. And I don't remember who it was. If Cane Bay took off running down the field, but that allowed Berkeley to get set up. Had he just given it to the referee, the first half probably would have been over.
Right. So we're 4 receivers out. Wicks in the backfield. He's going to pick up a block. He's going to go out to the right side. And my goodness, what a very nice catch by Solomon Butler. But it leads to nothing other than maybe in the stat sheet. It's a 7-7 game. Tightly played. Couple of miscues early on led to those 2 touchdowns. Our Brody Hart's going to be hooking up with Russell Zaire here in a minute. I would imagine that Coach Z will be very happy at what he has seen so far. His offense has been able to put together a couple of decent drives, 6 plays, 8 plays. Right now, a 7-7 game. Let's go down, talk to Brody. Brody?
Yeah, Coach, so talk to me about these conditions tonight. Definitely not easy to play when you've got rain coming out of nowhere.
High school football is designed to be played on Friday night. So we showed up and rain came with us, but, we're going to play and see what happens.
We've had a couple good drives. What do you tell your team at halftime to really capitalize on that second half?
Our defense has played well. We got lucky a couple times. Offense is going to have to figure out what they're doing and get the ball in the end zone. But, played a good first half. It's a 4-quarter game, so we got to show up second half.
Thanks, guys. Good luck.
Yeah, man.
All right, guys.
All right. I would say that their offense has been adequate. Their defense, I think, has been exceptional.
Exactly.
It is a 7-7 game here in Berkeley County. The Stags and Cane Bay. Friday Night Rivals, our Zaxby's halftime show, picks up after this. Welcome back to the Zaxby's Halftime Show. Let Zaxby's cater your next tailgate with your favorites, like the chicken fingers platter or the salad bar. Visit Zaxby's.com for a full menu and to find a location near you. Also, text the word chicken to 44332. 44332. That's text the word chicken. You can win a $100 gift card to Zaxby's. Each week, David Ayler Law Office is proud to highlight a scholar athlete from each participating school. The student selected will have an opportunity to win a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Tonight's scholar athletes from Cane Bay. Let's start first with Berkeley and Ashley Reichard. She's got a GPA of a 5.276, plays tennis. She's on the cross-country team. She sits at the top of her class, and that right there is Jackson Zare. He's got a 4.60, plays football, plays a little soccer, also wrestles, helps with child care, and helps out over at Cane Bay Middle School.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. I'm here with Margaret Seibla of the David Ayler Law Offices. Margaret, thank you for talking to us.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. So we're talking about Scholar Athlete today, so give me some background on that.
So once a week we honor 2 students who excel both on the field and in the classroom. Okay. And at the end of the season, we choose one of those 20 students, and we provide them with a $5,000 scholarship, which they can use towards their future college.
$5,000, that's awesome. And this is year number 2 of this, right? Mm-hmm. So why go for a second year in a row?
It was so great to see the money go towards such a great cause. After last year, we had our winner, Leo Albano, use that money to towards his scholarship at Notre Dame. Okay. And he starts this fall, so we're wishing him the best of luck. And we just love to give back to the community whenever we have the chance.
Okay, great. Leo from Bishop England High School, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a huge takeaway from that first year that you had last year. What are some other big kind of takeaways from that year?
It's just great to see the benefits of high school sports. It teaches students about leadership and time management and all lessons that you can use throughout life. Mm-hmm. So it's very important.
It is. That is awesome. Margaret Seibla of the David Ayler Law Offices. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Guys, we'll go ahead and send it back to you.
All right, Brody, thanks so much. A 7-7 game, a bit sloppy early on. Defense takes over after that. We're back in the Zaxby's Halftime Show. Welcome to Zaxby's Halftime Show. Let Zaxby's cater next tailgate with your favorites like the chicken fingers platter or the salad bar. Visit Zaxby's.com for a full menu and to find a location near you. Let's check in now with ABC News 4's Brody Hart. He's got a few characters standing by. Brody?
Oh, yeah. So I'm here with Tom Ledford with one of my favorite fast food restaurants of all time. We're talking about Zaxby's. You just said some of the best platters and entrees that they have. So, Tom, tell me about Zaxby's. I could probably answer the question because I go there so often, but tell me all about it.
Okay. Zaxby's been around since about 1990. We've been here in Charleston since about 2004.
What took so long? Come on.
You know, I apologize. We tried to get here quicker, but it didn't work out. But been here since 2004. We've got 12 restaurants here in the area, all locally owned and operated. Just a great place, very fresh concept, fresh hand-breaded chicken fingers, fresh cut salads and vegetables. Just a great place with a lot of great people.
I think I've asked you about this before, but what about that sauce, man? It's like the best.
It's a secret recipe, highly guarded. So I think that the recipe's in the Pentagon, so good luck with that. So
I would walk there with you if I could get that recipe. All right, so what's going on after the game?
Tonight after the game, we're just trying to say thanks. The Charleston area has been great to us for about 15 years. So tonight after the game, we're having what we call a fifth quarter party. So we'd love for everybody from the game to come back to the restaurants after the game. There's going to be a lot of prizes, a lot of awards. Somebody's going to win free chicken for a whole year tonight. And 20% of the proceeds, 20% of the money that we take in tonight is going to go to a great organization that we love and we care about, and that's Coastal Crisis Chaplaincy.
Okay, so we've got James Lewis with the Coastal Crisis Chaplaincy. All right, so tell me a little bit about that. What does the Coastal Crisis Chaplaincy do? I've seen you around at news scenes all the time. Kind of give us a little information on that.
We have about 30 chaplains in the Tri-County area that respond to emergency situations. It can be anywhere from a car wreck with a death involved or whatever, and we're there to assist the public servants, the first responders, in helping with death notifications and being there with the family and the grief and stuff like that. So this, with us partnering with Zaxby's, is going to help us out because we're a nonprofit organization and it helps us out with all of our chaplains going out on calls and stuff like that.
And I really have seen you all over. It is a great thing. You provide just a lot of peace and comfort for people in those tough situations. Have you yourself been at some of those hard spots and had a chance to kind of talk with some of those people?
I've got coming up on 34 years in the fire service, and now I'm a minister. So yeah, I've been there, done that.
To say the least.
So yeah, I've been there, and it's nice to see that chaplain show up so that us on the fire scene can take that breath and say there's somebody here to take care of the family for us and everything.
James Lewis with the Coastal Crisis Chaplaincy. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right. That was James Lewis. This is Tom Ledford. Guys, we appreciate you talking to us. All right, get back to you guys in the booth.
Well, why didn't you talk to the chicken?
Why didn't I talk to the chicken?
I thought the chicken deserved a little airtime tonight. Hey, tonight's trophy provided by RKO Total Graphics. You can find them in downtown Charleston at 1070 King Street. Thanks for being a part of the Friday Night Rivals team, RKO Total Graphics. It is a 7-7 game, about 3:45 left on the clock here. You're watching the Zaxby's halftime show and Friday Night Rivals. Welcome back to the Zaxby's Halftime Show. Let Zaxby's cater your next tailgate with your favorites like the chicken fingers platter or the salad bar. Visit Zaxby's.com for a full menu and to find a location near you. E-Dog.
Yes, sir.
You ready?
I am ready.
Let her roll. Let her rip. Thursday Night Lights, Friday Night Rivals. Great moments. Charleston, South Carolina in the house.
Finally, the hook and ladder. Colleton County last week to perfection against Bluffton, but it wasn't enough as the Bobcats with the win.
Darren Goldwater's dying right now. He's wanted a Charleston game in the highlight package forever, and we got it tonight. Nice run in Nashville. I think you're out at the 2-yard line, though, young man. Back it up. Let's go out to Chattanooga. Nice threads. Nice pass.
What a catch.
1 foot down. That's all you need, right?
That's all you need in high school with the nice team celebration.
Out of Columbia, Cardinal Newman and Hammond.
There you go. What
Good
concentration. I mean, he could go all the way. Look at, he's got a carrot. Look at it, just untouched into the end zone touchdown. Hammond, they got a chance to win the state title this year.
Hammond could win a lot of state titles.
That's Will Muschamp's son is the quarterback there.
Look at the, I love the Dayton field, right in the middle of the neighborhood.
That's right.
Catholic Central, Greenview.
I mean,
I gotta say, yeah, Greenview.
I mean, when you run past the blockers, that's when you know you're fast.
His head's not moving. His head's not even moving. Did you see that?
He just took it straight to the house.
Salt Lake City from the 99.
Oh boy, beast
Are we going
mode.
99?
Oh, right down the sideline. You're not catching that guy.
We're going 99.
I mean, taking it to
Look at the guy
house.
on the sidelines racing with him. I saw Emmitt Smith run 199 one time. It was pretty cool. Thursday Night Lights, Friday Night Rivals, great moments from across the country. You don't like that name, do you?
No.
Huh?
Not as a Redskin fan.
All right. Here's tonight's Spirit Award. Take a look.
We're the C, we're the B, we're the H. We're CBH. We're CBH. We're the home of the blue and the white. We're blue and white. We're blue and white. We're CBH. We're blue and white. We're CBH. We're blue and white. Cobra. Pride. You're rolling. Yelpy. HS. We're number one, you know we're the best. Come on, crowd, Yelpy. HS. B. HS. We're number one, you know we're the best. Come on, crowd, yell blue and gold. Blue and gold. BHS. Blue and gold.
There you go. Cast a vote for the Spirit Award. Results later tonight during our ball game. Speaking of ball games, check out some halftime scores right now. Stratford beating Goose Creek. That's always a great rivalry game. Baptist Hill St. John's. That is a big game tonight in Region 6A. First Baptist beating up on Portergown 21-3, and Wando losing to James Allen right now 21-17. Wando beat this Cane Bay team last week.
Threw for over 300 yards in the win, so somewhat of a surprise. But the Trojans with the halftime lead.
When we come back, let's check in on Brody Hart. Didn't mean to cut him off. Standing by with head coach of Berkeley.
All right, Coach Robinson. Tie ball game right now. A lot of football left to play. What'd you tell your team at halftime?
Disappointed. We're getting whipped in 2 phases of the game. Defensively, we're playing great. Offense, we can't string any plays together, and special teams, we get a punt block for a touchdown. So challenge our guys to put it together.
So one thing that needs to change for y'all to pull this out.
How about getting a couple first downs without stopping ourselves?
Coach, thank you. Good luck. Guys.
Brody Hart, maybe the toughest job of the night, interviewing that coach trailing into the half or a disappointed coach. It is a 7-7 game. You're watching Friday Night Rivals, the Zaxby's halftime show. We're back. Second half kicks off right after this. Welcome back to Berkeley County, Cane Bay High School. Cobras tied up with Berkeley right now, 7-7. The Stags coming in as a 7th-ranked team in the state. Their lone loss of the year to Fort Dorchester, 21-20. That was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, a game they had a chance to win. I believe they missed the extra point, I believe, on the last play of regulation. And
Randy Robinson said, I'm going to tell you right now, it had nothing to do with my holder or my kicker. He said the whole game, we just killed ourselves. Your aim high kickoff brought to you by the United States Air Force. 3 men back. And it's going to be the guy in the middle. That is number 17, Keanu Small, is going to take it all the way out to about the 38-yard line. And he is jacked up.
And both teams on this opening possession of the second half want to set the tone. If you're Berkeley, you want to force a 3-and-out, get the offense back on the field. You know they didn't play their best in the first half, and continue. If you're Cane Bay, long sustained drive. Use as much of that play clock off. The freshman appears to still be in at quarterback, so looks like he's going to take it the rest of the way.
Going to start at the 38-yard line. That is Xavier Mitchell Brown. Going to keep it himself. Pick up about 4 or 5 yards. Going to get some push from his friends. Going to be a pickup of about 8 yards on the play.
And you have to think the longer Cane Bay stays in this game, the more their confidence starts to really grow and think that they can pull off the upset here. So if you're Berkeley, you have to, again, you don't want them to continue to believe that they can come up with the win. You got to come up with a stop here eventually.
Number 2, Isaiah Burst bringing the play in. But for Randy Robinson, you go back to their second drive. Their first drive ended up in the block punt and touchdown. Second drive, they had 11-play drive that stalled out at the 13-yard line. That's where he's going to look back and say, man, we needed to make some hay right there. As that handoff inside to Wendell Goodwin, going to be stopped short of the first down by about 1.5 yards.
Yeah, a little I formation there. Nice job by the Berkeley staff defense. I believe the first Stag there to greet him was Jaden Miller, 99 of the Stags, a senior defensive lineman. So crucial. Of course, still plenty of football left to be played, Dean, but in terms of setting the tone here in the second half, a huge 3rd and 1 coming up here for Cane Bay.
Staggers in the background. That's number 28, Micah Staggers. Bursts on the move. Staggers. The ball's on the ground. And looks like Mitchell Brown recovered it. Going to lose 2 yards. It's going to force a punt by Cane Bay, but to see the young freshman.
Yeah, he tried to pull it out. It looked like it hit the back of his running back. And fortunately for Cane Bay, he was able to fall on it to at least allow themselves an opportunity to punt the ball away. But a tough break for Cane Bay, and Berkeley, their defense comes up with the big stop.
I got to tell you, too, I mean, you think about the difficulty of running this option, this veer option for a young quarterback. I don't know how many snaps he gets in practice, but, you know, it's not a guy that's, you know, 7 steps back and taking shotgun snaps. He's got his hand on the ball every single time.
Has to make quick decisions.
Nice job by Ryder Weishart fielding that bad snap and kicking it down to about the 15-yard line, and that's where Berkeley will set up. And it'll be interesting to see their philosophy in the first half was give it to Wicks, and then give it to Wicks.
3 plays. Wicks to the right, Wicks to the left, and Wicks up the middle.
Let's crunch some numbers brought to you by Anderson Brothers Bank. Talking about Randy Robinson, some staggering numbers here. In his first 2.5 years here, 29-6. He was an assistant coach at Daniel High School for 10 years in the upstate. 97 and 31s. He knows how to win football games. Eric Tuttle going to open this thing up, going to pass it out. That is out to number 2, Solomon Butler. Now they're going to open up the second half and throw the ball.
Yeah, you have to wonder if they were kind of keeping this in their back pocket so that way Cane Bay could not make any adjustments at the half on this passing game. But when you have athletes like Berkeley has, you got to find a way to get the ball into the hands of the Butlers and the DJ Chisholms, as well as Mr. Pesnell.
Call it 2nd and 6. They're going to throw back this time, go back to number 2. Butler's going to pick up very close to a first down, spotted at about the 25-yard line.
David Ayler, Scholar of the Week. Jackson Zaire on the stop, the senior defensive back, 6'1", 171 pounds. So nice job of not allowing any yards after catch for this Berkeley offense.
They're going to spot it as a first down. Pesnell was their main target in the first half. Butler now here in the second half. DJ Chisholm set up on the top side. Ball's going to go back inside to Butler. There's going to be a flag down on the play. Looks like it's going to be on Chisholm, just the way he's reacting at about the 20-yard line. Looks like he may call a holding on that quick little bubble screen out to Butler.
That's what you have to do when you have athletes. You got to get them out in space. Spread the field. And allow them to just work their magic in one-on-one situations, because I would imagine it's not very easy probably tackling these wide receivers at Berkeley.
We'll call it a block in the back.
Randy Robinson looking for explanation.
Kerry Collins, we've not said his name much tonight, which is a good thing.
Right.
He's the man in the white hat. There's the signal, block in the back. It's going to back him up 15 yards. They will set up at about the 12-yard line now.
Wow. Huge penalty for the Berkeley Stags. Had really decent field position, but with that penalty, as you mentioned, Dean, all the way back to the 12-yard line. So they have to reach the 35 to pick up a first down.
So 20 yards, going to give it to Wicks. He's going to cut it to the outside. And what a great open field tackle. That is by number 26. That is Javory Washington, the linebacker, 5'11", 185, the senior.
We just mentioned that if you're Cane Bay, you don't want to have to make isolated tackles or be one-on-one, and give credit to Mr. Washington for coming up and making that tackle in open space, because you have to believe if Mr. Wicks were able to obviously execute that stiff arm that he was trying to put on him, he would have probably ran for close to a first down.
Wicks going back inside. And there on the stop is Chase Smith.
Just a very conservative play call there by Randy Robinson, obviously with third down and forever. Just wanted to see if maybe Wicks could break one off, but Mr. Smith was having none of that tonight.
I had unofficially 18 carries, 126 yards in the first half by Wicks. As they look at 3rd and 17 now from the 17. Going to play action, going to throw it back across the middle. Completed that pass to number 8, Alex Wyndham. Going to be about 5 yards short, though, for Berkeley. And here comes the punting unit.
Nice job of executing the fake to Wicks and able to step up in the pocket and deliver a strike to Wyndham. But as you mentioned, not enough for the first down. So both teams have come up with big stops defensively here to open up the second half. Give the ball back to Cane Bay.
Block in the back really set them back. They were sitting 1st and 10, had a couple of quick plays for a first down, and that set them back.
Just very choppy here. Neither team really able to get in a rhythm offensively.
Very nice punt by Josh Simmons. Going to be taken at the 30-yard line by Caleb Stewart. He's going to be brought down by a couple of Stags, including Trey Morrison. It's a 7-7 game. Both coaches wanted to see some offense. Not quite yet. You're watching Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. We're not at 7. Welcome back to Cane Bay High School. The Cobras taking it over their second drive here in the third quarter. They'll start at the 33-yard line. If you're just joining us, the freshman quarterback Xavier Mitchell-Brown in for Alex Smart, who injured his ankle in the second quarter as Cane Bay looked to have jump off sides there in the backfield.
The official call here. Offsides.
How'd I do?
You're 1 for 1 tonight. Usually we're pretty dead on, Dean. We don't usually get many wrong when it comes to penalty flags and what the infraction is. So far, so good
I missed
tonight.
that one pretty. No, I missed that one good. So we start at 1st and 5 at the 38-yard line. Mitchell Brown, 2 runners in the back. Staggers is going to take it. Looks like he may have lost a yard or 2.
And it appears, Dean, both teams being just very conservative. They kind of want to stay away from the big mistake. They've done a great job up to this point, staying in the game. Of course, more for Cane Bay. They wanted to give themselves a chance here in the fourth quarter, and they're trending in that right direction, hanging on defensively and doing just enough offensively to keep, obviously, Cane Bay kind of off balance.
2nd and 5 from the 38, man in motion. That's going to be Burris. He's going to throw it out. That ball is tough play by Mitchell Brown. He had the pitch out to Isaiah Burse. Burse gets a lucky bounce, and they're going to lose 5 on the play. It's going to be 3rd and 10. As we take a look at our Zaxby's fans cam tonight, the student section here at Cane Bay showing up through thick and thin, the weather at least. Bad hair night for the weather, right?
Yeah. I would have to say. And we talked about that in the first half, Dean. If I'm Berkeley, I just all sell out and I come with a run blitz because Cane Bay's not even threatening to throw the football.
Again, looks like Mitchell Brown finally gives it off inside to Mac Dudley, but he's been holding the ball for quite a long time before he decides to either give it to him or to take that ball with him.
And that's where you're seeing the timing issues, just not getting enough snaps in practice with this unit, him being the freshman. So, but so far so good. Just don't lose the game, just manage the game. That's what he's done. Great job tonight by the freshman for Cane Bay.
And here comes a big rush by Berkeley. Chisholm is calling a fair catch. A flag's going to come down. They're going to say that Rasheem Bradham ran into Chisholm at about the 38-yard line, but the ball still falls 7 yards short of where Chisholm was.
Well, that's one way to stop Chisholm, is just knock him down before the ball gets to him.
All right, let's head downstairs. So Brody Hart's got a special guest with him, Brody.
Yeah, I'm here with Airman First Class Chevis Woodhead. He serves in the U.S. Air Force. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. All right, so talk to me about serving in the Air Force. What are some of the benefits of that?
The Air Force is wonderful. It's been great for me and my family. They have the new blended retirement plan, which gets you a pension and a 401k, the travel opportunities, going to school for free. It brings all kind of benefits, as well as the brotherhood and sisterhood of the Air Force.
Tell me more about that. I know you've got people that you're going to be in touch with your entire life because of that.
The brotherhood and sisterhood of the Air Force, the camaraderie is unbelievable. The respect we have for each other, working next to all these young men and women every day, it's just unbelievable. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
And also, you've got a great opportunity to get into a career if you do this as well.
Oh, absolutely. The Air Force provides thousands of jobs every year to young men and women, even older men and women across the nation. And they train you in that specialty, and when you come out, it transfers into the civilian world so easily. So you definitely have a job no matter where you go.
A1C Chevis Woodhead. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have a great night.
All right, guys, I'll give you that call in the booth of that touchdown pass just now.
Every time, man. Brody Hart he's about 80%. Yeah, it's about 80%. We go down to Brody, we're going to have a great play. But that's why we got replay. So that was back-to-back 20-yard passes from Eric Tuttle to Dervon Pesnell. And the extra point is going to be good, make it a 14-7 game. And that's the one thing when you were talking about Cane Bay, just kind of trying to manage the game, is that The only thing that worries me about that is Berkeley has the ability to strike and strike quick.
Yeah, we saw it there. That one was a two-play drive.
Cane Bay does not.
Exactly.
Two-play drive.
And once they fall behind, since they're not comfortable throwing the football, especially when you have the freshman Xavier Mitchell Brown in the game now, that just puts you in a deeper hole. So the one thing that Cane Bay really could not afford to do was to fall behind, and that's what they've done now. So they're going to essentially have to put the ball up. But still plenty of football left, 4:22. You're only down one score, but now you have to make sure you capitalize on these long drives.
Both of Berkeley's touchdowns resulted off of special teams miscues. That one, there was a 15-yard penalty that brought the ball all the way to the 40-yard line of Cane Bay. And then, of course, in the first quarter, after a bad snap and a tip punt at the line of scrimmage, Keyshawn Wick scored one play later. This one was a two-play drive as the Stags kick it off, and they're going to go deep and off to the left side. And that is going to be Caleb Stewart taken down at about the 17-yard line.
Nice tackle made by Will Shannon. All of a sudden now you see a little pep in the step of this Berkeley football team. They kind of sleptwalked through the first almost 2.5 quarters, and now they finally have the lead. The offense is doing what they're supposed to be doing. There's no way that obviously Russell Zaire and the Cane Bay offense, they can afford to have a 3-and-out here and give that ball back to a Berkeley offense that now starting to feel good about itself.
That Cane Bay offensive line, that's where the pressure falls right now on Fisher, Hill, Curry, Jones, and Allen to try to move that line. They're not big, but they are quick. They're going to have a little counter. They're going to try to get to the outside. That is a tough place to go as DeMontre Singleton is there with the takedown.
Yeah, nice job there. You can't outrun this Berkeley defense. Those guys can run sideline to sideline, and nice pursuit that time by DeMontre Singleton, the 5'9" senior defensive back. So coming up from his secondary position to make the stop.
So they're playing behind the chains, which is not what they want to do. You've got to wonder at some point in time if they're going to try to throw the football here. 8 guys in the box for Berkeley, and they are going to throw the football, and he's going to go long. He's got Stewart down the right side, and a flag comes out. Excuse me, that is Michael or Daquan Neals went down the right side, and Cam Myers on the coverage looked like he ran into Neals a little bit right there at about the 45-yard line of Berkeley.
Yeah, that's almost as good as a completion. You pick up, you get the 15-yard penalty, and it'll be an automatic first down for Cane Bay. But yeah, that time just a little bit too much contact by Cam Myers, the senior.
Myers never looked back. Randy Robinson said, yes, he's 5'8", 170, but he's undersized a bit. Probably have an opportunity to play at a smaller school, but he tells Cam all the time, he goes, listen, there is a reason that no one throws at you, and there's no better compliment if you're a defensive back. Check in with our Birdie Hart down on the sidelines again.
Yeah, I have with me Katie Butcher. She is the athletic director of Berkeley High School. How are you holding up tonight in this cold, rainy weather?
It's great. Lots of excitement around. That keeps us moving, keeps us warm, so I'm going to take it.
That's all right. It's football season. Okay, so tell me what else is going on with athletics at Berkeley High School right now.
All right. Athletics for the fall season, we've had, really a great season all around. Golf, we had girls make it to the lower state. Tennis, they're still playing. They go into their second playoff round on Monday, so that's super exciting. Volleyball made it into playoffs. Unfortunately, they finished up last night, but, very proud of them. Swimming, we had one of our swimmers, Sarah Mundy, state champion last year. She went back to state this year. She finished second and third in her respective events, so very, very proud of her. Lots and lots going on. I'm very proud of all our student athletes. Football, great.
Well, tell me about the culture of the school. We talk so much about athletics, but it's success on the field, success, you really want it everywhere, right?
Absolutely. That's one of the things. I was at Berkeley 18 years ago. My husband's military, so I left, and I said, when we get ready to hit that retirement stage, it's like we're going back to Berkeley. Berkeley, though it's not necessarily home, it is definitely home now because it's the culture there, it's the people. We're not just talking about inside the school, like it is the community. When you talk about Friday night football, I mean, it's not just what's happening on that field, it's what's happening in those stands, it's what's happening in the school, you know, prior to even getting out here. Everybody in the school is supporting each other, whether it is something athletic or something academic. You know, Berkeley is one big family, and that is like the thing that I just love about it. That's what brought me back. That's what's going to keep me there.
Now, that is an endorsement right there. That's how it should be. Katie Butcher, thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Guys, she is the athletic director at Berkeley High School. We'll get it back to you.
All right, Brody, thanks very much. Very important first down picked up by Mac Dudley. Keep this drive going. Then Mitchell Brown picks up 4 on the play. Going to go back on the inside. Dudley works his way down the line, maybe pick up half a yard at the most.
And Cane Bay literally just getting 2-3 yards a clip, and then on third down, you know, obviously pushing forward and picking up first down. So they're doing what they want to do, Dean, in terms of using clock, but also moving the football down the field. I also want to point out, Dean, before we went to Brody, I thought there was a penalty flag, but the 15-yard was never.
The 15-yard was assessed from the line of scrimmage. It wasn't with the spot of the foul. And they're going to go back to the air. Xavier Brown going to look up for Niels again, going to be overthrown a little bit. And what a nice play by Niels to break it out of the hands of Cam Myers. Role reversal right there.
Yeah, good job by Niels not allowing the interception to take place. So that's when you become a defender yourself. So nice job. He couldn't come up with it on the third down pass attempt, but he wanted to make sure that neither did Cam Myers come up with the interception.
That's almost one of those throws where he's got to take a little bit of the air out of it, throw it more back shoulder on the line. As a punting unit comes back on about a 4th and 7 right now, and they are missing a player. 13 seconds left on the clock. Let's see if they're able to get set and get this kickoff as Chisholm sits at about the 28-yard line. That is back on the ground through his leg. Another miscue on special teams, and Berkeley will have prime real estate at the 22-yard line.
I promise you, Dean, I was just about to say Berkeley's coming for this block. You could see them very anxiously waiting for the ball to be snapped. A low snap from the center, and unfortunately this time the punter of Cane Bay, Ryder Wishart, not able to, almost like a ground ball. Couldn't come up with a ground ball, went right between his legs, and Berkeley with outstanding field position here on this particular drive.
They had worked about 3.5 minutes on the clock, and then just give him a gift here at the 23-yard line.
If it's me, Dean, the first play, I'm throwing to the end zone. You got him on the heels.
You got Pesnell on the inside. You've got him across the post all the way down to the 3-yard line. He has been the go-to guy since this game started, as he is working on number 10, Caleb Stewart.
Now, slowly but surely, this is the Berkeley offense we expected to see all night long. The passing game in full effect. In the first half, we saw the running game take over. Now, the passing game definitely working for Berkeley.
As a 20-yard pickup by the Stags from Tuttle to Pesnell. This time it's going to go to Wicks. He's got a big man in front of him. He's going to walk into the end zone, a stiff arm deep into the end zone. That's a 20-7 lead now for the Berkeley Stags.
And all of a sudden it now seems like this Berkeley offense has finally woken up. It's like they sleptwalked through the first half. Now they're up, they're loose, they're obviously dried off from the rain in the first half, and right now starting to flex their muscles against Cane Bay.
You know, the amazing thing here, they've got 3 touchdowns. Their first touchdown was a drive of 1 play.
Right.
Their second touchdown was a drive of 2 plays.
Right.
This touchdown, a true drive touchdown. I don't know if I've ever seen such short drives equaling 21 points.
That's that quick strike offense that Berkeley is employing tonight for sure.
Well, it's quick strike offense, and it's also prime real estate that Cane Bay has gifted them right now in a 21-7 game with just 24 seconds left on the clock. And that, when you go back and look at this game and see how it's all unfolding now for Cane Bay, special team mistakes, that has been the biggest problem.
Yeah, that's resulted in 2 touchdowns essentially here tonight. So unfortunately for Cane Bay, defensively it's kind of hard to defend 1- and 2-play drives when the team only has to go, 20 yards.
It's been really interesting watching how also Berkeley has kind of turned their attention to Dervon Pesnell, their senior wide receiver, 6'5", 179, came in with 9 touchdowns. He has really been their go-to guy. And again, if you missed it, he taken what he called a life-changing trip last weekend to the Naval Academy and made a commitment, had an offer, and committed to play football at the Navy. And if you think that being 6'5" is a little too tall to be in the Navy, just remember David Robinson.
Right. Exactly, a 7-footer.
This kickoff is going to go to Caleb Stewart. He's going to take it inside, and he's just going to lower his shoulder and bowl over a couple of Stags at the 21-yard line. And that is where they will set up shop and possibly just one play here in the third quarter.
Yeah, and unfortunately now, Cane Bay, they're going to have to put the ball up in the air, trailing by 2 scores. They're going to have to do something that they're not really comfortable with doing. They played hard tonight. Let's just see what happens here. You mentioned, Dean, they probably got one more snap here in the third quarter, and the Berkeley defense, they're itching to get back on the field.
And again, they are rolling out the freshman quarterback, Xavier Mitchell-Brown. Their starting quarterback, Alex Mart, injured in the first half of this game, rolled his ankle a little bit. And looking for him on the sidelines, don't see him down there. There's Xavier Brown's going to tuck it and try to turn the corner. He's got a lot of white jerseys chasing after him. He'll take it down at about the 25-yard line.
Berkeley, you had Cam Myers was there, also Trey Chisholm was there. About 4 or 5 white jerseys of the Stags there on the stop. That'll be the final play of the third quarter.
4 fingers in the air as we head to the fourth quarter. 2 touchdowns put on the board by the Berkeley Stags. Comes on just 4 total plays. It's a 21-7 game. You're watching Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Welcome back to Cane Bay High School. Cobra's Den getting a little tense here. Just gave up 2 touchdowns in the third quarter to Berkeley, down 21-7 now. Second down and 6. As they are going to mash their way for about 3 yards here and bring up about 3rd and 3.
Dudley's really done a nice job of keeping that middle section of the Berkeley defense honest. That way they can't just give up on that play. So Dudley, very effective tonight, a hard runner up the middle, and really has done a nice job of just being the middle of that Cane Bay offense.
Yeah, and this offensive line right here has got to control the line of scrimmage and let them pick up 3 or 4 yards right now. Mitchell Brown over center. He's got 2 in the backfield. He's going to have a wide pitch here. A block missed on the outside. And that's all you need to know is Trey Morrison, the north-south selection, makes a nice play for a loss of yardage.
He's showing why he'll be playing in that all-star game in December. Did a nice job of fending off the block and able to secure the tackle. That'll force 4th down. And unfortunately, again, that Cane Bay punt team, which has had a lot of issues tonight, will be back on the field. And you have to think that punter, he's got to be a little nervous here based on what's happened in the past.
There's a good snap. High punt. Looks like it's going to drop about the 48-yard line and bounce backwards. And then Trey Morrison's going to pick it up, take it down to about the 38-yard line. And we get a little push and shove in there out of bounds. But Morrison's not going to let that ball die without picking it up and advancing it another 8 yards or so.
And once again, another drive for the Berkeley Stags that will start deep in Cane Bay territories. They're going to start at the, where's that being, is that the 40-yard line? The 40-yard line. So we've seen the quick strike offense of Berkeley here in the second half. Let's see what happens here on this particular drive.
Let's crunch some numbers brought to you by Anderson Brothers Bank. Quick strike Cobras. Russell Dazare's done a nice job here. He's only had 2 losing seasons in his time as the Cane Bay coach. A lot of pressure on Tuttle's, just going to throw it away. Grounding will not be called. There was a receiver out on the sidelines. That was Wicks.
Nice job by Tuttle, not allowing himself to be sacked and getting rid of the football at the last minute. Instead of it being second down at about 15, it'll remain 2nd and 10.
But you brought it up. They have had great field position all night long. Wicks going back inside. He's going to push off a couple of defenders, pick up 8 yards, and boy, he is something to watch. One of the special running backs here in the Low Country heading to Old Dominion.
Great size, great speed, great field vision. Just really knows when to make the cut, when to plant that foot and shift to the left or the right. I've been very impressed with Wicks tonight. I can see how he rushed for over 2,000 yards during his junior season, well on his way to 2,000 again this year.
Randy Robinson said they just didn't want to overwork him as they did last year. It felt like he was really overworked, got in the weight room this summer, and I really feel like as the season goes on now here, as you head to the playoffs, you might see more and more of him as Tuttle looks right, going to throw it back across the field. He's got Pesnell, and that's going to be a touchdown. Second time these two have connected. 28-7 Berkeley Stags.
That's how the scramble drill is supposed to work. Give credit to the offensive line of Berkeley, allowing Eric Tuttle time as he rolls left. That's a difficult throw to throw across his body. He knew he was going to get hit, but still put the money on the ball. Touchdown, Berkeley.
Tuttle really gets overlooked in this offense, you know, with all of the players around him. But the senior, 6'2", 192 now with 21 touchdowns on the year. More impressively, just 3 interceptions. The extra point is going to be good to the 9:48 mark.
And it seems like Dina was just 7-7.
Is that another 2-play drive?
I think it was. Yes, it was. That's the key.
28-7. You're watching Friday Night Rivals, brought to you by Cruise Chevrolet. Welcome back to Cane Bay High School, 28-7 as we take a look at the Cane Bay cheerleaders dreaming of their next fans, Cam and their Zaxby's Chickens platter. They need that offense to get moving here and get moving quick behind the 8 ball after losing their starting quarterback, Alex Martz. Xavier Mitchell-Brown came in, trying to run the offense. Short kick that's going to go out of bounds at about the 28-yard line. In fact, the only score of the game for Cane Bay came off of a block punt.
And you know, Dean, as this Berkeley team gets prepared for the playoffs, we talked about them in Somerville and Fort Dorchester, possibly vying for that state championship. These are the types of performances that they're going to need. They're going to need their defense to step up and be obviously big. Really, the defense pitching a shutout tonight because of the special teams. But offensively, the balanced teams are the ones that normally have the best success. They can throw it, they can run it. Really not anything they can't do. This is a very good football team that Randy Robinson has at Berkeley High School.
Start at the 35-yard line. Xavier Mitchell-Brown back behind center. He's going to take a 3-step drop, and he's going to throw it high. He's going to throw it deep. It's a jump ball. Nobody's going to come down with it. And that was DeQuan Niels being defended there by Jan Copeland, the senior cornerback.
Look at this Berkeley roster, just tons of seniors up and down the entire roster. Guys that have been here, done that. They know what Coach Robinson and his staff wants, and there's a lot to say about experience. And you're seeing right now, when you have that ability to put a guy on an island and just do one-on-one and lock a guy down, that allows you to put 8 or 9 guys in the box. That's what Berkeley's doing.
Randy Robinson had said earlier this week that, when he saw the film, when he first came here, he was like, the only thing that came to his mind was, we can fix this. And he said the kids bought in. And, I told him, I said, all the new coaches that we've talked to the last few weeks, that's kind of been their one big theme that has come up, is to get the kids to buy in. And he said he makes a joke all the time. He said, I didn't care what kind of Kool-Aid I was pouring, they were going to drink it.
And that's, as a coach, that's a coach's dream, to have those guys buy in and trust any and everything that you say.
Cane Bay looking at another 3 and out here. I love it. Mac Dudley just driving the hole in the middle. He's going to come up a little short here. But as bad as their special teams, or should I say as much as their special teams have struggled, they're going to go ahead and keep that offense on the field here for 4th and about 4 at the 42-yard line.
Down 21 with only 8 and some change left to go. You just can't afford to punt the ball back. Then again, I mean, Berkeley, they score so quickly. They're 2-play drives.
Right.
You'd be right back on the field. But yeah, this is a crucial 4th and 4 coming up for the Cobras.
They're going to go inside, and they're going to be pushing it forward. And I don't think they're going to give them the spot. Looks like they're going to be maybe a yard short there.
Yeah, it's going to be a right foot spot. Unfortunately, they needed a left foot spot. Because of that, Berkeley will take over.
That was big number 71, their center, Cameron Curry, doing a lot of the grading up front. This is their offensive line coach is a good friend of a lot of people here in the Low Country, Jeff Bleemer. So Bleems played at Penn State, played for the Eagles, and really made a name for himself with the Citadel when they ran the Wishbone with Charlie Taff, and had some great success there. But he came back and started working in the high school ranks and has been at Cane Bay for quite a long time. Takes a lot of pride in that offensive line. Said he loves these kids. So they're not, he said my tackles are 200 pounds and 211. And they just really come to work every single day. As we see Chisholm down the right side, wide open, steps out on the 2-yard line, or the 2-yard line. But that's where you see the arm strength of Tuttle and the great speed of Chisholm.
And the precision to put it right on the money. Nothing fancy here. He looks the safety off to the left, comes back right, and throws a beautiful ball to DJ Chisholm. And once again, Berkeley in line for a 2-play scoring drive, should they be able to score on this particular play.
Well, that is really the first time that we have seen Chisholm explode here in this game. And you saw right there just the speed as Tuttle is going to hand it back inside to Wicks. He's going to be stopped here at the line of scrimmage, pushed back a couple of yards.
Nice stop. Initial Cobra there on the tackle was D. Francis. Had a little bit of assistance from Sheldon Dees. And if you're, obviously if you're Russell Zaire here, don't worry about playing the scoreboard. You just continue to play. You build off of these situations. Yeah, you're down by 21, but you need to play like it's a tie game, and they're trying to take the lead on you here.
They're in the judgment-free red zone, brought to you by Planet Fitness. And I'm going to tell you what, Keyshawn Wicks, he's got plenty of fitness. His third touchdown of the game makes it a 34-7 game as Berkeley starts to stretch their lead with 7:31 here in the fourth quarter.
And I will make a judgment on him. He's a very good running back in Old Dominion. Of course, I believe Old Dominion, last time I checked, they only had one win. Of course, that was over Virginia Tech.
Pretty good win.
A pretty good win. They're getting a phenomenal football player in terms of Mr. Keyshawn Wicks.
And the PAT is good, so they've had 2 3-play drives. They've had a 1-play drive and a 2-play drive. It's pretty simple.
You talk about explosive, man. It was 7-7 at the half.
Let's talk about the Will Lugray Never Stop Learning stop of the game. And that's exactly what we had early on. Berkeley's first drive, the punt was blocked. Danny Davis scoops it up. D. Francis with the block, big left hand. And look at Danny Davis pick it up at the 25 and then take it in from there. It was a 7-0 lead. And that is your Will Lugray stop of the game.
All about getting the stops. Offense wins games, the defense wins championships. At least that's what I've been told.
Well, you see the possibilities and the explosive possibilities of Berkeley's offense here. And again, you know, they lost a heartbreaker to Fort Dorchester 21-20. They beat Somerville 34-30. And Randy said, you know, listen, as disappointed as we were, we could have easily lost that Somerville game as well. Looks like a little squib kick right off the foot, almost like an onside kick there, recovered at the 38-yard line by Cane Bay's Danny Davis.
Speaking of Somerville, you mentioned it, Dean, a big game coming up on Monday between Somerville and Fort Dorchester at John Bagwell Field. Right now, you got to figure everybody's just kind of jockeying for playoff positioning. Hopefully, you can host a game or two in the playoffs.
Hello, girls. Construction night here at the ballpark. Mitchell Brown back behind center, going to take it right up the gut for a nice pickup of 8 yards by Mac Dudley.
Man, Dudley's like a Mack truck. I mean, he has done a great job tonight carrying the football. It's Dudley a little woozy getting up. I'm not sure what happened there at the end of the run, but Dudley's was that dive back. He's definitely earned his keep tonight. He's done a great job for the Cobras.
We had a little conversation going on between Ty Haynes of Berkeley and looked like the offensive lineman Cameron Curry. See if it progresses here. It's 2nd and 3 now. Dudley's going to go back inside, just lowers his shoulder, picks up 8 or 9 yards for a Cane Bay first down at the 42-yard line.
Yeah, Trey Chisholm as well as Tykeem Haynes on the stop for Berkeley. And he's a load. I mean, he gets those behind those shoulder pads. He's a very difficult young man to bring down.
So they get a little bit of something going here, and he has really been the workhorse tonight. 5'8", 224 for the senior Dudley, number 33. Burst is in motion, going to give it right back to Dudley. Let him just keep working on the inside. Going to pick up another 7 on the play.
Getting a little chippy here, a little frustration starting to set in as we see some penalty flags at the end. And you hate to see this. It really was a good football game for 2.5 quarters, and then Berkeley just started pulling away. You hate to see kids kind of lose their composure. This really is 2 good football teams.
Well, they've been going at it for this entire drive. 71 and 31.
It's like offsetting penalties. Both teams are going to be penalized. But if we get one more, I believe they're ejected, Dean.
I would imagine they'll clean it up now. 2nd and 5 now from the 36-yard line. Mitchell Brown going to hand it back inside to Dudley. And we're going to flag come down.
But you can see just the timing is just completely off, but that's because there was a penalty flag that stopped the play.
And offsides on Cane Bay. Back it up, make it 2nd and 10. But again, not too many penalties in this game.
Someone eager to get that quick jump. Gotta wait just a tad. bit longer.
Cane Bay working on the clock now, 5:50 left. Down 35-7. It was a 7-7 game, seemed like about 10 minutes ago. Dudley working hard inside, picking up 3 on the play.
Berkeley's made that adjustment now. You just want to give it to the fullback, that's fine. They'll let you get 2 or 3 yards each time and, you know, kill the clock on your own. But you had to think, Dean, they definitely wanted to see if the young freshman could make the proper pitch in that situation if the fullback dive was not there. They've done a great job of containing that that offense.
Mitchell Brown's going to keep this one himself, or does he give it to, I think he gives it back to Gregory. I think it's touching the ball the entire series, and then we got.
And it's just really weird, Dean. It's almost like he wants to give it to him, but he doesn't want to either. Dudley is clamping down on it too hard. He can't get his hands out, or he can't be that indecisive if you ride the fullback all the way to the line of scrimmage. So it's just, again, the timing, which I'm sure Coach Zaire and the offensive staff will work on in practice this week.
Interesting to see what's going to happen to Alex Mark this week, to see if his ankle will heal up. They've got James Island coming up next week, so they'll fall to 2-2 in the region play. And what a nice play inside. That is big number 59. We've called his name all night long. Jaquez Cancer with the sack, setting up a 4th down, and the special teams punting unit coming on for Cane Bay.
Yeah, 5'9", 241. That play had no chance. Cancer looked like he was a running back. He was in the backfield so fast.
Here's tonight's smooth move of the game, brought to you by Yaden Chiropractic Clinic. Nice rollout by Tuttle. Going to throw it back across the field to Pesnell. Pesnell with 2 touchdown catches on the night. Tuttle's had himself a really nice game, managing this offense and really opening up here in the second half as Cane Bay goes back to the ground. And what a nice run on 1st down by number 28. That is Cortez Hayward.
Hayward starting to get a little run himself, the junior.
They'll take Wicks out of the game.
It's just like next man up.
Hayward's got 4 touchdowns on the year, so he has seen some playing time.
This Berkeley team, Dean, you talked about the tradition. Some of the players that have played at Berkeley, you think of the Mal Lawyers of the world, and the Rusty Williams, the Ryan
really
Stewarts, you know, guys that all played in the.
Tuttle's going to keep it around the right side down to the 30-yard line. Just need to go down, young man. It's not a, yeah, just slide. And we're going to do some talking here on the sideline. Chase Smith having a conversation with him. But yeah, they've had great, great players come through here.
On the play up in Columbia. So this is a very
Jabari Smith. No, Jabari
King. No.
Jabari, man, we're old. I can see him like it was yesterday.
Exactly. I mean, he's like a left tackle.
Yeah, he took up the whole left side. But yeah, they've got some great skill players here. Tuttle back. They're going to keep on throwing the ball. And he's got Chisholm open. Nope. That was number 2. Solomon Butler was wide open.
A little shocked here, up by 28 with 3:15 left and still throwing the football.
Where Berkeley is going to have an advantage as they start moving on, you look at the size of that offensive line. And again, doesn't matter what level of football you're playing, you got to own the trenches. McCray is 362. The IHOP king is 6'2", 244. Then Powers, the center's 285, and then the right tackle DeAndre Ferguson's 304. As Hayward is moving along slowly but surely on the inside. Xavier Robinson come up with a tackle. Their smallest guy in the line is 233, the right tackle, Seth Caver. So once they start moving along, and that was a big jump from 4A to 5A football. And the thing that Randy Robinson said was, we just got to get our 230-pound guys playing as good as their 260 guy. Cedric Nettles coming up the field, limping. Check out our Cruise Chevrolet drive of the game. You got a friend in the car business. I'm going to tell you right now, these drives of the game, they're pretty quick. Pesnell over the middle. Oh, this is one of the longer ones. I believe this is the 3-play drive. Tuttle to Pesnell. Pesnell's had a great game. Wicks has had a great game. We saw a flash of Chisholm speed. But again, it's been a long time since I've seen a football game where their drives are no more than 3 plays. A lot of that's set up by miscues by the Cane Bay special teams.
That's going to drive me up the wall, Dean. I'm trying to, because there was a Rivers as well, but it wasn't Jabari Rivers.
No.
Played at Berkeley. No, I'm going to figure it out.
You got your hello Google?
Yeah, I'm trying to. That was probably in the 90s, I would say.
All right, does the streak continue? That's the big question tonight. Our Cheer of the Week winner, the Cane Bay Cobras. The streak continues. The home team, undefeated on the year, the cheer squad. And I'm going to tell you, both teams, both cheer squads came out to pre-tape their cheer tonight. It was raining. It wasn't very nice. And they were nothing but smiles.
And it just is surprising because you would think probably the road team would have more people watching.
It has nothing to do with home. It's just a streak. It's just that they were just a little bit better on this night. That's all.
Jabari Levy.
There
you go.
Tuttle looking inside, going to hand it off to Hayward. About 3 Cane Bay Cobras stepping in, dropping in for a loss, make it 4th and 2 here. Jabari Levy.
2000.
I remember the night that he committed, or the day that he committed to South Carolina. We went and interviewed him, and he was literally standing next to this huge oak tree, and the trunk of that tree looked so small next to Jabari Levy. Listen, I can't remember much, but I remember that.
6'6", 315 pounds.
Like I said. Right. Cameron McCray, 6'5", 362. It's 4th and 2. They're going to go for it. Hand it off to Hayward. He's going to take it inside for the first down. Take it down to the 14-yard line.
A little scat back. It's like a burst.
This is drives like these where you're throwing the ball late and you're going on 4th down, right? Where you could have kicked it up 35-7. These are the things that Cane Bay won't forget for a while.
Right.
And when the tables turn and the cycle, because it's always a cycle, right? Unless you're Alabama. Right. Hayward back up the middle again. He's going to take it down to about the 7-yard line. New quarterback in, by the way.
The Buck Bears, Dean.
Keon Johnson.
That draw play was from like the 30-yard line. I don't know if a field goal kicker can knock it in from 30.
Well, you could have punted it down to 5. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying anything. I'm not picking a fight with anybody. These two guys were really nice on the phone to me this week. Maybe not next week, but this week he is. Handoff going to Hayward to the outside. Cane Bay pressing. Nice cutback. That's going to be a 42-7 game. And that is Cortez Hayward, 5'6", 145, the junior, picking up his 5th touchdown of the year.
He just kind of hides behind the big offensive line, and he just kind of scatters through. So the quick, elusive running back of the Berkeley Stag, Mr. Cortez Hayward, getting his due. And obviously a young man that probably works hard in practice and his chance to shine. And as you mentioned, Dean just picked up another touchdown on the season.
And the other thing you've got to look into here as well is that Cane Bay defense has been on the field for a long time here in the second half.
It was 7-7 at the half. Cane Bay started the second half on offense, and it just got out of hand quickly.
Cane Bay went 3 and out. They went 3 and out, and they had a penalty on that punt, which moved the ball from the 45 all the way to the 40-yard line. And then Berkeley scored 2 plays later. And then they had a 6-play drive, but then there was a bad snap on the punt. Berkeley picks it up. 2 plays later, it's 21-7. So they have been, again, not a lot of offense here in the second half for Cane Bay, and a lot of credit to the Berkeley defense.
They just made adjustments. That run attack in the first half, while effective, did not result in points. And like you mentioned, Dean, a lot of 3 and outs there in the second half for the Berkeley defense. You have to tip your cap to them.
You know, the interesting thing, too, when you look at that Berkeley defense, I mean, they basically played a 4-4 front today. As Cane Bay is going to take the kickoff down. That is number 17, Kayshawn Smalls. But this Berkeley defense not terribly huge. They've got 6 guys 5'9" or smaller.
Right. But they're fast and they're quick.
They're very fast.
They run sideline to sideline, and you know that's half the battle. And while they may not have the actual physical size, if you got 4 or 5 guys at the football, you're going to be pretty effective. And give credit to that Berkeley defense.
Randy Robinson, defensive coordinator up at Daniel High School for all those years. You see his influence on this defense as there's 54 seconds on the clock. And again, Russell Zare's got to wonder, you know, what have I done here? You know, that's Rasheem Bradham coming in with the move to the outside. You lose Elijah Bay after 5 weeks. He was playing some pretty good football. He transferred here from C.E. Murray. They had lost their first game of the year to West Ashley by 3. Fort Dorchester beat them pretty good. They come back with a win over Ashley Ridge, over Stall, over Goose Creek, playing tight with Somerville. And Bay just gets kind of, they said it was a weird play, just got tackled strange. Somebody came in and kind of jumped on the pile and broke his hip.
Wow.
And that was in the 5th game. So they were just getting to where Alex Mart was running this offense. They had picked up, you know, the win over Stratford and then a tough loss to Wando. And Russell said they just didn't play well. And now another setback here, not only on the scoreboard, but Alex Smart injuring that right ankle with the freshman coming in. So it's a 42-7 final score here as Berkeley shows their might, flexes their muscle here in the second half to put up 35 points over the Cane Bay Cobras. All right, our Low Country Orthopedics player of the game tonight. Well, he set the tone. He set the tone early. Keyshawn Wicks is our Low Country Orthopedics and Sports Medicine player of the game. Showed great speed, showed agility, but I was surprised at how much strength the young man had.
Yeah, my first time seeing him as well, and you have to think because of his success there in the first half, that's what allowed the offense and the passing game to take over in the second half.
Get back in the game with fast access to Low Country Orthopedic and Sports Medicine's 5 locations located in Somerville, North Charleston, Moncks Corner, and Daniel Island. We're back with the winning coach right after this. Welcome back to Cane Bay High School. Quite a showing here in the second half by the Berkeley Stags. They put 35 on the board to win it 42-7. Standing by with the head coach and our player of the game, ABC News 4's Brody Hart. Brody.
Hey guys, well, we do not have a head coach here with us, but I've got the player of the game, Keyshawn Wicks, with me. Keyshawn, how'd you play tonight? How do you feel about it?
We played good. The O-line blocked well. The team played well. We got the dub.
Got the dub. All right. How are you gonna take this into next week? What do you wanna do next week?
Well, we gonna keep on the grind. We gonna win the region, get all the playoff games, and let's try to go to state.
All right, Coach. 7-7 game at halftime. Finished up 42-7. How do you feel about it?
A lot better. I was worried about our offense. They decided to show up in the second half, and I appreciate it. The defense played well all night.
I think the average length of your drive was about 4 plays in the second half. Talk about offensive efficiency.
Well, it quit raining, so we could throw the ball a little bit better and hang on to it and catch it. So obviously the weather cooperated in the second half too.
All right. Well, you know what happens whenever you win 42-7. This is the Friday Night Rivals Trophy, Coach. It's yours. Take it.
Thank you.
All right, Brody Hart. Brody getting a little opportunity to talk to Keyshawn Wicks. We usually only hear from the head coach, but they got the dubs. And you can see their sight is set on a state championship. And I think it's certainly the lower state championship is a possibility. As we take a look at some of the highlights tonight, it all started with Berkeley's first drive. They had their punt block. That is Danny Davis scooping up that touchdown and going to make it a 7-0. Cane Bay's first drive, they had a bad punt. Berkeley recovered it to 13. That's one play later. That's Mr. Dub. Keyshawn Wicks made it 7-7, 3:27 in the first quarter. 15-yard penalty on a punt play. 2 plays later, there we go, Tuttle to Pesnell. And then there was a bad snap on a punt. 2 plays later, Wicks with a touchdown made it 21-7. And then Tuttle, this is probably his best play of the night. Scrambled left, throws back right a little bit. Finds Pesnell. That made it 28-7 with 9:48 left. And then we've got a 3-play, 39-yard drive. That was going to be Wicks with a touchdown, and then finished off with Cortez Hayward with the late touchdown. 42-7 was the final score.
And it just happened so fast. Obviously, Berkeley outscoring Cane Bay in the second half, 35-0. So hard to believe it was a 7-7 halftime score. But give credit to Berkeley as we take a look at scores from around the Low Country. Stratford leading 32-14 late in the fourth quarter. St. John's over Baptist Hill, but at least somewhat of a little upset there. I think a lot of people expected Baptist Hill to win that game, but St. John's leading 27-14.
We keep this scoreboard up. Let's talk about a couple of these games first. The St. John's coach, maybe this week with the best soundbite ever with Scotty, and he's like, we get it. Baptist Hill on social media has already crowned themselves the champ. That's fine. They haven't played us. They came back, and they backed up their coach's word. I think the biggest loss on the night tonight was Wando, and probably the biggest winner on this night was Cane Bay. Because of the Wando loss, the Cane Bay loss, they're both 2-2 now and sitting, and Cane Bay has the, I believe they've got the tiebreaker, or Wando's got the tiebreaker over them. So we will see how this plays out. First Baptist over Porter Goud. I don't know if you have seen him play yet, the running back, Michael Dukes, but he is a man among boys. He is something else to see. And then Stratford with a win over Goose Creek tonight. So we've got one more week coming up of high school football here at Friday Night Rivals. We'll be back with, we've got West Ashley Ridge at West Ashley as the rain was coming down early and often, but then it cleared up. Berkeley kind of switched gears, went from a running game and then turned in a passing game.
Yeah, I mean, they could do it all. I mean, it's almost like pick your poison. We talked about it in the open. You know, which one do you want to stop with the triple three? And all three of them had success tonight in terms of Wicks on the ground. And obviously we know about Tuttle throwing the football. And we said DJ Chisholm, the young man going to the Shrine Bowl, but actually tonight it was Dervon Pesnell, a young man who has verbally committed to go to the Naval Academy, that came up huge in terms of the wide receivers for Berkeley tonight.
42-7, we wrap it up when we come back to Cane Bay High School. All right, a 42-7 final here. Berkeley beat Cane Bay. And you take a look at this Cane Bay team as we talk about the Friday Night Rivals on ABC News 4, coming up with Scotty and Darren. Complete coverage, scores, highlights from all of the games around the Low Country. That's coming up at 11 o'clock on ABC News 4. But you take a look at the Cane Bay team from a year ago. They lost a lot of kids. They lost R.J. Roderick, their stud quarterback, went to South Carolina. Their running back, Chris Copeland, had 1,500 yards, 19 touchdowns a year ago. 25 seniors were on that team. 15 of those guys starters. Now you lose 2 of your quarterbacks within 2 weeks of each other. But it's what Russell Zaire preaches here, and that is basically, everybody wants to win, but he's into these teenagers learning about accountability, learn about life. It's, life is easy when you're winning, right?
Right.
Football's easy when you're good. But it's these moments when you're down a little bit, that's what he loves about coaching and these life lessons.
And it's got to be next man up mentality, Dean. And you talked about it, losing 2 quarterbacks in almost consecutive weeks. There's not many high school football programs in the country that could obviously survive that. So a tough go of it right now for Cane Bay, but the good thing is better days are ahead.
We talked about some of these, the Shrine Bowl and the North-South All-Star Game. Those rosters were released earlier this week.
Yeah, congratulations to our Low Country players for the Shrine Bowl representing South Carolina. Hanahan defensive end Cooper Dawson, along with Berkeley's DJ Chisholm, and then Fort Dorchester's linebacker Davon Gilmore, who we saw earlier this year against Wando. So congratulations to those men who will be representing South Carolina in the Shrine Bowl.
Yeah, I think there were about 14 local players on that North-South team, but only one that we saw tonight was Trey Morrison. We want to thank all of our sponsors for making Friday Night Rivals possible. Coming up next week, Ashley Ridge at West Ashley. Tonight's final 42-7. Tune in ABC News 4 at 11 for Friday Night Rivals for a complete showdown of the scores. See you next week on Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet.